And there you guys go. The Warriors losing 16 points to 38 to the Cronulla Sharks. Before I get into things, I just want to wish Ben Masila all the best there. It appears that he has fractured his arm or something like that, but long story short, didn't look good, and my well wishes to him. Now, to the game as a whole, the positive was Curran was back, and he was back to his usual self, putting his body on the line, and obviously trying to get things going. And I'll be honest with you, I still believe he saved the try. Now, there were some players there that can put their hands up, and when I say some, I literally mean like some, as in a handful, as in probably one hand type thing. Warriors again, just not surprising us. It was a very good start, as we all know. That 12-0 start got us buzzing, similar to the Knights game, and I fell for it. Admittedly, I'm just sick and tired of seeing the same old rubbish. So, of course, when you sort of see the Warriors play like that, you jump out of your seat, you start asking questions, you start dancing around like a fool, and a fool is exactly how I looked, how I suppose some of us looked at the end. Warriors there, basically, I guess from the get-go, after the tries, errors leading to more and more tries, and I guess one of the positives was Dylan Watson and Selesnik, and that almost basketball-like dunk, or as I call it, the slam try that he did. You see, now I'm just trying to throw things at you guys because I'm just so bothered by what we saw. I'm not going to name names, but I will say I'm disappointed in some players, our forwards. I'll even say our halves, generally speaking. You can say some players had bad games, but I'll tell you, he's the positives in my opinion. Feel free to challenge me, but I thought Reece Walsh generally played well. Sure, it wasn't the most perfect game, but you know what? He still tried. Toy Harris as well for mine. Aitken, Curran as well. Egan and Patches, I think, generally, but that's about it for me. I thought there were some players there, especially on our backline, they were absolutely horrendous. Dylan Watson was probably one of the good ones too, DWZ. But I mean, besides those six that I've named, I am struggling to find any other who really tried. And obviously there were some who came in off the bench, but I mean, just collectively were so poor. Unfortunately, you just got to sweep them in the same category. After all that talk as well, Stacey Jones coming in, like I said, it's not on the coach, but it's clear to me that we have players there in the team who aren't good enough. We have players there who need to be dropped, and I mean this, and I need to emphasize this point. They need to be dropped. They need to be dropped. I don't want to see them playing for us regularly. Stop it, because it sets up a bad precedent in the sense that if you're going to play bad, then you're going to be picked anyway. Stacey Jones spoke about it earlier on this week, saying that he's going to drop players if they don't play well. Hey, the rubber has now hit the road. We're gonna need to see some action. No, I'm not singling or putting pressure on the coach when I say this, but the reality is he's come out and he said those statements. So I need him to show us the receipts. It's now time. The Warriors have now got their sixth loss in a row, and in a game there where a lot of people have been throwing a lot of jokes and jabs at the coach, the former coach Nathan Brown. We're now starting to realize that this issue we have is actually runs deeper than the coach. It's players there, like I said, who are just errors upon errors. It makes me sick. I even had a tweet out there where I tweeted that, we talk about resilience, or the lack of, in the Warriors, right? The New Zealand Warriors, the lack of resilience. It is actually you. It is actually I. It's me. It's you. It's us Warriors fans as a collective who haven't left the team. It's actually us there who are actually more resilient than most of the boys there who are putting on the jersey. Honestly, I'm just sick to my gut of just the unbearable play style that we have. Again, you can look at players and point the finger, but nothing really happens if they keep on getting selected. I'm not here to call out names. I've given you guys the names of the players I thought were good. But besides that, it doesn't matter. I made another thought as well, a tweet about, how it just looks like there's some players that are trying, but overall, because the team itself is just bad, or as I've akened it to rotten. There's a few rotten eggs in the team, and because there are some rotten eggs, it doesn't matter how many fresh eggs there are around. If it's rotten, it's still gonna smell. It's still gonna stink, right? And that's exactly what's happened. There's some rotten eggs there. There's some players there who just aren't up to standard, and it's just seeping in. It's seeping in the Warriors' DNA. We talk about Warriors' DNA. We talk about Warriors' identity. It's becoming very, very apparent to me that our identity is actually based on Well, players who are not up to standard. We talk about trying to find some sort of form, some sort of identity, as I touched on just then. But the reality is, this is our identity now. We're a crap team. Let's be honest, we're a crap team. We are so bad. And apart from literally 6 players I mentioned there, I am struggling to find anyone else there who wants to show any sort of pride and or heart in wearing this jersey. How dare they rock up like that? And I'm not saying these players are rocking up wanting to lose. I don't know. And or not putting in some sort of effort. But the reality is, when you're up 12-0, any normal standard club there does not lose in the way they did. 16 points to 38 when we were up by 12 points clear at one stage, and we only score a further 4 more points. There needs to be something looked at. Like I said, I go back to what Stacey Jones has said, the interim coach. He said he's going to be doing some moves if players aren't up to standard. Well, now Stacey Jones, the rubber has hit the road. And I'm not even blaming him, by the way. I'm not. The coach shouldn't be blamed here. He's not to be blamed. It's quite clear to me that there's some... Well, it's not clear. It's obviously apparent, but we just keep seeing them being picked. And again, you can point your fingers there, and some of the players I named that said, well, they weren't perfect. But you know what? I'll tell you what, there were some of the ones that were at least trying in moments of the game. We got players there who are quite regularly from the first minute to the last minute, just disappearing or just errors, or it's just not good enough, not giving us what we need. There's no injection, there's nothing there. There's no real substance there. The Sharks walk away there laughing at us, grinning at us. You even got Nico Hines there practicing his goal kicking, because they scored that much tries, because our defense is woeful and our up forward push is woeful. Yeah, no, we'll get it. I get it. We're missing some players. I get it. But don't act like that 12-0 there. Any other team besides us would push through. I don't care about other teams and how they're performing, whether they're good or bad. I only care about what the Warriors are doing. It's just absolutely rotten. It's rotten stuff. It's rotten. I don't mean to forget anything else, but I think I'm done. Just rotten. Absolutely rotten. Give me your thoughts, guys. Wow. Rubber meets the road, hits the road, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't even matter. 6 losses in a row. We got the Panthers next week. Far out, man.